You gotta put the microphone in.
That's helpful. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. We've had a good day, a good week. Just getting ready for the spring. Started working in the yard the last couple days because it's been nice out, and now it's freezing cold again. So, just batting this around, but tonight may be the farewell show. I'm just finding it very difficult to get some topics to go over, and it seems just to be getting very redundant and not a lot of connection with everybody. So I don't know. It's not that I won't be here for anybody. The shows will still be on there, and there may be a time where we just possibly pop on every now and again instead of every Friday. If something fantastic comes up, I'm finding it that the events are not out there anymore. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking out there, but it just seems to be getting very redundant and not being able to get some topics together. So I'm batting it around, but I will keep you posted. I hope everybody had a good week. I'm looking forward to summer. I'm looking forward to spring. I'll take spring. The groundhog promised us an early spring, and he's fallen back on his promises. Pappy is in the house. Like literally in the house here, not in the house there. I wasn't sure if he was coming out. But yeah, if anybody out there has anything that they want to talk about, discuss, feel free to pop it into the comments. Anybody have a topic that they need us to touch on, please pop that in. If you're here, say hello. And I see we have Larry, Eric, and Gloria in the house. I guess we haven't really, and Barb's in the house. We haven't talked about the dance because I guess we haven't been here since the dance, since it was last weekend. But we had a really good turnout. We had a lot of fun. Jackson, of course, was on the floor all night long dancing. We didn't make as much as we normally do, but we made something to help those that are in early recovery come out. And it was pretty cool because we were actually able to sponsor a table this year. 10 girls were in recovery, were able to join us, and the gratitude that they had was worth every penny of it. They were just so excited and so happy to be part of that and to be able to enjoy a night out without being put into a situation with drinking and drugging, and just on the dance floor, great food, just a great time. It was a really nice event, and I do believe our next one will be in November. We're not scheduling one for the summer this year, so I'll keep you posted on that as well. What's in the news? Anything that you've heard about?
I think Jersey's giving out free Narcan in the pharmacies now.
Oh, really?
So
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Sponsored by, Department of Health and Human Services or something in New Jersey. Pennsylvania hasn't gotten to that point yet, but I've been hearing commercials for it on on my talk show.
And that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I'm seeing the same thing in all of my all of the feeds that I follow, that they're still struggling with overdosing. Is just really being hit hard right now, and not exactly sure why, but it is really, I mean, getting bad out there again. So if you have anybody out there that you suspect is having a rough time, having a hard time, reach out to them. If you haven't been hearing from them, reach out to them, see what's going on, see, if they're having a rough time keeping within the issue. What you struggling with, Barb, tonight? We're here, we're listening. So if there's something we can help you with, that's what we're here for. And remember, if the show isn't on and you're having a rough day, please call me. It's, you have my hotline, Barb, so you can call me anytime.
Call on the bat phone.
Or the bat phone. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know if there's, bad drugs going around or what have you, but overdosing is, it's way up there. A lot of them are being saved due to the fact that oh, that's a shame, Barb. And I know that you have been going through that with him. I take it he's not doing well with the treatments tonight. I hope that can change. I hope, there's a positive at the end of all of this. 10 years is a long time to be going through treatments. I know that it is hard on the body. I'm not exactly sure what his treatments are, but I know that can be very difficult and very hard on the body. And it can't be easy for you to watch either. We don't want to see our loved ones suffering for whatever reason. And how do we stay strong for our loved one that is struggling? Support, that's my only, tool is getting the support from people that understand what you're going through. If you're not struggling with the same situation, it's kind of hard for other people to understand. And that's why it's so important that you reach out and get that support that you need. And if you need to reach out to a family support for somebody, a loved one that's dealing with cancer, that's important too. You don't have to stick with one support group. We all struggle with all different kinds of issues in our lives, and we need to find the right support systems for each, issue that we have. Cancer is a disease. Addiction is a disease. And it's just, several different support groups out there for those. So Barb says Tuesday is getting a new treatment, nuclear radiation, and this is new, but he still works, probably outlive me. And that's the truth. Sometimes we just think like, oh my gosh. I mean, I know with my grandmother, it was like, she was sickly, and my grandfather never went to the doctors. Oh my gosh, never. And, I always thought, oh yeah, Mom's going to go, before Pop. And, it's so weird how that just totally turned around, and Pop got sick just so fast. But yeah, And I don't know if it's the change of season. It's just been so gray and dismal out there. There hasn't been sun. Thank goodness for the sun today, but apparently we're going to be losing that again this week.
Tomorrow, maybe another rainy day.
Yep.
Oh, well, another day to sit around and eat all day. Somebody's got to do it.
Yep. Larry says spending time on things that don't matter, letting go of victimhood. I don't want to, but I should. I have more topics if you want. I'm just going to have you come every Friday night.
Boy, Larry was dancing up a storm last week.
Yes, he
Holy
was.
smokes,
Twinkle toes.
I was going to have to pour water on his shoes.
I'm telling you. Yeah, we had a good time. I didn't get out there much dancing, but I had a good time. I had a great time talking with everybody and, catching up. And, you don't see some of the people that are out there often, but, it's events like these that bring people together that haven't seen each other for a while. So that's nice. Barb wants us to come see her for a latte tomorrow.
I'd love to.
Yes. If I can get up, I'm sleeping in tomorrow.
We're lucky we get the Golden Corral before breakfast closes.
Yes.
That's my new go-to place. The senior discount.
Yes.
$12 a piece. Ah, what a spread.
Yes. Eric, and that's true. It's exhausting to watch people go through an illness. And
especially cancer. I mean, the treatment is bad on you, if not worse than the disease.
Yeah.
But, it's a necessary evil.
Yep.
Well, I guess, but, it's, especially chemo and stuff. Wow. It just zaps you.
Yeah. And, all you can do is be there and be supportive. We better get out there. She's putting in her 2 weeks notice tomorrow.
We got to act fast.
If we don't get there, we'll have to come over to the house for some coffee. You'll have to whip us up a caramel macchiato. Someday I'd love to hear how parents handle their will and their addicted adult child. It's scary. Adult child that's struggling to all of a sudden receive money. That's a nice topic right there. Like, what do you do? Like, a lot of our loved ones that struggle with this, money is a big trigger for them. It really has, you get a lump sum of money in your hand, and even when they're doing well, when they're in recovery, and they're early in it, and then you have a handful of money, it's scary. And I don't know the answer to that, but
yeah, that's more of something for a lawyer. I'm sure they could set it up a trust as like an annuity.
Right.
You don't get a lump sum. It's delegated, but I don't really know nothing about it. But yeah, that's something to look into. If anybody has any connections out there with an attorney to give us some info on that or some insight, that would be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great topic. That's a pretty good thing, because I look at it with, during the COVID thing, they were given, bringing people in and filling out that paperwork for them to receive all that money that the government was handing out, and the overdose deaths were so high because of it. It was,
free money.
It was free money, and I don't know why the people thought, like, oh, well, if we give them the money, then they're going to go to treatment and they're going to get better. No. Now I can buy more and more and more and stay out there longer and have a good time.
It was supposed to help people. It wasn't helping anybody. People were squandering it, man. Just got out buying foolish things.
Yep.
I mean,
and buying large amounts of substance. It was a very difficult time for for
I didn't
them out
qualify for
there.
any of that money, but if I did, I would have got a fancy hat or something.
Yes, to cover up that fancy haircut.
I always want a fancy hat.
Yes. I'm going to excuse myself for a minute, so Pappy's going to take over for a minute.
Oh boy. I have no topic.
Well, you have.
I'm just going.
There's
for
a
ride.
couple. There's Larry's there, got a couple things going, and you know, I'll be right back, guys. It'll just be a moment.
Well, welcome everybody.
Eric, give them something to talk about.
He drives a concrete step-up truck and still work. God bless him. God bless him. Amen. I drive a truck every day, Barb. I could drag myself to work every day. I only took this truck driving job just till something better came along. Now I've been at like 35 years and I haven't found nothing better come along. It's all good. The good, honest living. You know, big shortage of truck drivers too out there. But like everything else, that profession's changed a lot too. I mean, I won't go into truck driving. I have nothing to do with what we're talking about here, but that's something interesting about truck drivers. Just like police officers, you know, truck drivers can't get medical marijuana cards illegally if you have a commercial driver's license. How about that? It's just another thing. Not that I'm looking for, but it's just a little tidbit of information there. But you know, just like you can't keep your concealed carry permit and get a medical marijuana card. It's actually illegal. Who'd have thunk? But you can get all the prescription narcotics you want. That's fine. All the antidepressants you want, all the opiates you want, that's fine. But can't get a medical marijuana card and retain your concealed carry permit. I don't know. The laws just boggle my mind. Let's see. You are beating yourself up. Yep. Who is? But let's see what we're up to. Yeah, like Lori was saying, we're really struggling to find interesting topics and things that we feel the show's kind of getting too redundant. It's not as engaging as it used to be. I mean, we've been doing it a couple of years now. You should really start from the beginning again. You know, we were thinking about going for the Smart Recovery book again. That people were seeming to enjoy that. But we just try to rely on the emotional support and all for people that have loved ones struggling and people themselves that are struggling with substance use disorders. I mean, as we told you years ago, we used to do a lot of outreach down in Kensington with people addicted to opiates and such. And it was very fulfilling. You know, I particularly enjoyed it a lot. I did it for several years. But then we just noticed a void, like we were telling you before. There's plenty of help for the people struggling, but the families were being left behind, not knowing what to do. That's when we changed gears a few years ago and started working with families, primarily. And that ended up being very fulfilling because, truthfully, people are just lost. I mean, especially in the beginning. They don't know where to turn, what to do, what to expect. They don't understand what's going on. And just like people suffering from addiction, the families, they have to educate them on themselves on the addictions for it to make sense to them. You know, even if you yourself are suffering from a substance use disorder, you don't know why you're doing what you're doing sometimes. It's just something you do, and the driving force is just overwhelming because, you know, addiction, it hijacks the brain. And it causes us all to do things we never thought we would ever do. And who we got here? Hello, Christine. Hi, sweetie. Welcome aboard. But, it was Lori's, I guess she's doing her hair or something. I don't know. But, yeah, they were kind of wondering what to do with the show. Whether to take a hiatus or... I don't know. It gets harder and harder to find guests because It's not the most opportune time for the night. It's kind of late at night for most, and people are busy. You know what I mean? People have busy lives, and they'd like to help and all, but it's just really not convenient for most. So we move right along. I'm really just I'm babbling. I'm babbling. I to avoid dead air time. But if anybody wants to call in and ask a question, we got quite a few viewers out there right now might chime in and help with an answer to that question if I don't have it or if Lori don't have it when she comes back. But feel free to call in at our call-in number 267-737-8031. It's up on the screen. That number is also good. Anytime to call Lori, even when the show's off. It's just a direct line to Lori. It's a special number, just for helping people. Always feel free to keep that number handy. Especially you, Barb. Yeah, you're struggling, you're feeling big. Give Lori a call. I mean, sometimes it's just nice to talk to somebody that understands what you're going through. And just idle conversation. And bring it down. I mean, you got a lot on your plate. We realize that. And don't get yourself too worked up. And let's see what Eric has here. I guess it depends on the person. In my experience, an alcoholic addict and money usually part ways pretty damn quick. Yeah, that's true. They plow through that money, but we were talking, all that free money was going around. I mean, even my son owns in the audio business. People just coming in buying equipment like crazy, like they didn't need. They weren't putting that money towards improving their lives, or they're just squandering it like it was like raining money. It's a shame. I mean, it did turn out to stimulate the economy or whatever, my opinion, and it didn't help people. I think it hurt them. They just pissed it away. Didn't save any of it or put it toward anything positive. I don't know. That's my opinion. But let's see. As a parent of a kid that gets a lump sum of money, I would say grab the shit handle and hang on. Well, there you go. Yes, large amounts of money can be an issue. I'm lucky. I never had large amounts of money to really affect me. I can tell you, my grandmother, when she was still alive, gave all the grandchildren some money. It wasn't a lot of money. I think it was like $2,000, $1,500. I don't remember. And she wanted to give her those before she died, so there wouldn't be any scratch. I went out and bought DJ equipment. That's why I started really seriously becoming a DJ. I went out and bought some quality equipment, and I used it for all the better. And I still have that equipment. I still use it. I've upgraded some. But I put it to good use. It was my midlife crisis. Instead of buying a convertible or something, I went out and bought some DJ equipment, started DJing, and that's been over 10 years now. And I work at my own pace. I mean, I could be busier if I want, but I want to do it every weekend. But it's just one of them things. I mean, you got to think ahead instead of getting the money and just going nuts, going crazy, taking some vacation or something you really can't afford, but you do that instead of like putting that money to good use. I mean, I don't know. I'm babbling on again. So what do you think, Larry? Got anything to add to the whole situation? You're another guy who's never come into large amounts of money, I don't think. I don't know, but money ain't going to ruin us. That's for darn sure. But, let's see. This is becoming longer than I thought. But, I don't know, so what do you think? Got anything to add? Any good topics? My engineer behind me, he just sits there quiet and pushes the buttons. That's what he does. He stays neutral on the whole issue. But, I've been seeing a lot of things lately on, I follow a lot of pages. I have one page, Addicts Helping Addicts, I think it's called. And I'm seeing this post more and more often. Guy today asking, how do I get off of pot? Now, there's something you never saw years ago. You know, people are having a hard time kicking the marijuana habit. I mean, as I've said several times on the show, it's becoming so potent. These strains, people are developing dependencies, THC dependencies on pot. I mean, a few years ago, people said, that's crazy. Yeah, but it's not. This stuff is like off the hook, off the charts with its potency. And more people now are having issues with it. And man, they're still pushing it. But, oh, here she is. She's back. You know, so many people are just having issues with kicking the pot habit now. Wow, who'd ever thought? So, did you think anything while you were reading to the blind nuns?
No, I was on the phone.
Wow. All right, hopefully everything is well.
I'll put it that way.
Everything is well.
Yes, Barb, feel free to call in anytime or call me.
Like the Beatles said, anytime at all.
Yes.
Everything's a song to me.
Yes, everything is. And if it's not a song, it's a joke. He's always coming up. Nobody likes to be in his company when they're having issues going on because they know that he's going to be popping them out quick.
I was even cracking jokes at a funeral the other week and had everybody in the greeting line like cracking up laughing. I'm like, people like, who is that morbid son of a bitch?
Yeah.
Everything's supposed to be somber and doom and gloom here.
Larry says, how do you get off anything? You work for it. And you do. You have to work for it. I know there's somebody that is a smoker right now and they want to get off cigarettes. And there's a lot of stress going on in their lives right now. And that seems to be their crutch at the moment. And, you know, hopefully they can work through that. I'm trying to start to eat healthy, and I'm struggling with that terrible. It's not good. It's, you know, you have to put the work in.
I'm getting off the bottled water and going back to tap. I'm talking to my buddy who's a commissioner in a very renowned township, the water department, and he said it's totally fine to drink. He drinks it all the time.
I drink it all the time in the house. Friend of mine. We don't have water out here, so we drink bottled water out here.
We have a caller.
We have a caller.
Hello, caller.
Somebody say redundant.
Redundant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So here I am, redundant again.
Right, and it is recovery is redundant. It is.
We're trying to keep this show, you know, engaging.
Yeah.
It's something different for people, and it's getting harder and harder. It really is. I mean.
Well, I'm down to my last 50 topics, so you know, I hope you stay on.
It. Down to 50. We started. He had 500.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Recovery. Like, what can I help you with out there? That's, you know, I'm here to help whoever is in that background that is struggling, that needs to, you know, just get some support, just find some hope, just, you know, just to be out there and be able to help them through, you know, a tough time. I know those tough times. I remember them like yesterday. It's just something that never leaves your mind. You know, when you're learning, and I just dove right in 2 feet and wanted to get as much information as I could to figure all of this out, because I was just I had such a different opinion on addiction, and you know, so I jumped in both feet, and
nothing really changes in recovery except for different approaches to MAT, different compounds and such that have come out over the years to help people and all. But other than that, I mean, there's different programs, you know, everybody's got their approach, this one, that, but they're all pretty much similar. Mm-hmm. You know, all the smart recovery and your Buddha and your,
Right.
all of them, but they all kind of tie together and become similar. Mm-hmm. Have you seen any new cutting edge,
You know what?
all natural?
Yeah. Pappy, I hate math. I've always watched when I can get my butt up out of bed and stay awake for it. Live with Kelly and whoever it is at the time. Right now, it's Live with Kelly and Mark, and they've been in Vegas doing the show, and it was so weird because they had like rappers and DJs and everything on it, and they're like, well, what do you do like to keep yourself, calm before a show goes on? And all of them said, I meditate. And Kelly makes fun of it. Pappy makes fun of it.
I only have a hard time with the drum circle. Okay?
Well, that I do
Meditation
have that
and-
because I like music and I like to
I like
I did that.
yeah.
I like music too. As I sit in the middle of a music studio,
But I
you bring a drum circle in here and they get recorded. I'm gonna have to show them the door.
yeah, but
You could do that for a show. The drum
yeah,
circle.
drum circle. No,
I'll get you the drum, Larry.
and you know what? It helps a lot of people, and I say, more power to you. Whatever it takes to help you get through a difficult moment, a difficult day, a difficult year, go for it. If that
I go to the
helps
buffet. I come out feeling better and a different man.
you, and looking for a bathroom,
Good.
I enjoy that too.
too much. But to hear like these cool DJs and rappers, I meditate. I take an hour before the show. I get up in the morning and, I meditate to get my day started. I'm like, you know what? And I don't know how to like really do it. I do it the way, I think it's supposed to be done. When I'm struggling with just trying to get my rear in gear and get things done. I know I'm not doing it correctly. So that is something that I would like to learn more about. And
I want to try chanting.
chanting.
Yeah, but I know I would have two kids, a dog, and a cat climbing all over me if I'm sitting there going,
And that's not even meditation. That is just, it's just noise. It's just, find a place in your head just to just feel better about yourself. So that is something that I play around with a little bit. And there is music out there that helps you to relax and find a good place. And it was funny because I would play it at night to go to sleep. Pappy's like, what the hell is this shit
oh my God.
you got on? And I'm like, it's just helping. It helps with, like in the summer, in the winter, we don't have the air conditioner on. You know what I mean? And
Thank God she got over that phase with that music going on.
however,
I wake up thinking I was dead. Or something
however,
like what's going on?
however, I had it going for a couple weeks, and one night I didn't play it, and he's like, "Where's our music?" So don't let him fool you. He got used to it,
No,
and
I was being sarcastic.
no, you weren't. You were not. And
And then the ocean water
no, I
rush
can't.
in. Then I gotta pee every time I wake up because I whoosh, whoosh. I'm like, oh, that's water noise.
Lucky she doesn't put your finger in a glass of water. You do that
Oh
old
my
trick.
gosh.
Now, what did you do, Larry, to get your head where it needed to be when you were having like those moments of not being so clear in your recovery?
Yeah, well, I listen to a lot of music. Obviously, everybody knows that. And,
We know you. Didn't
way back
pray.
at the beginning, yeah. So you listen to Ocean, I listen to,
Ozzy.
Judas
Ozzy.
Priest.
Yeah.
An Ozzy, yeah. Yeah. Like a good meditating
Oceans and
headbanger.
Ozzy.
Yeah.
I
Well,
myself
in the be-
will do that too, just to get out of my, out of my head, like listen to Metallica or, Ozzy or, one of them too.
yeah, well, at the beginning, it was like when I was in Italy, I called my sponsor, and until I got comfortable enough where I didn't really have to call him every time, and I would just, be at home, and when my head started to spin, I'd have music going on, or they'd play the tape forward, doing things that, I don't want it. One of the things was, I don't want to, but I should.
Right.
What do we need to do? I don't want to do this, or I don't, whatever calms me down, I don't want to do that, but I know I have to do it, Sometimes you get a little antsy, you get a little cocky, too. I get a little cocky, so I don't need this, and I don't need that.
Right.
Yes, I do.
Right.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And that is true, because you do kind of put things like, I'm not doing it now, I'll do it late, but then you're still in your head and you can't stop that stinking thinking, so you have to get back in gear. And
I used to call the Psychic Friends Network when I was like just to talk to them, and then they went bankrupt, and I just can't help but think that they were seeing it coming.
Well, if they talk to me, they would need therapy.
They were always there to talk to the.
Yeah.
and
You talk about it.
yeah, it's just so weird how, certain things can really bring you to a place of clarity and, take you into a different direction. It's just finding that tool, that thing that helps you get through it.
Yeah, got to stop. Don't listen to the voices in your head. Sometimes, you start listening to that little voice in your head leading you down the wrong path, as opposed to, wait. And that goes for both sides too. People who have the addiction and the people who are affected by it, like family members and all.
Eric seems to be
Sometimes
having
it gets-
a problem. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Eric's
hey,
having a
say what
problem
you
with
gotta
the
say.
video feed and the audio or something about.
Probably because we're not answering his things, but I wasn't
3
in here
minutes
when
off.
I wasn't in here a minute ago, so I'm sorry, but we'll get to you, Eric.
Right after these messages, yeah.
After a word from Larry's sponsor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Psychic hotline.
I think they'd have seen it coming. That's
Yeah.
a great joke.
and that's what I like about Larry when he comes to our parent group, our family group. I'm sorry, is that we get to see it from both sides. He sees it from our side. They see it from, we see it from their side, and he sees it from our side. I think that is so needed in the recovery process for the families to get to open meetings. To see what it is that they're going through, see why it is that they're continuing to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and then find the education as well.
Yeah, that one thing about the group too, it's just like, AA meetings and all, you open up, you don't keep it in.
Right.
For me, with steps and talking to someone, and just like I keep calling them the parents of the addicts, but that's what it is. For me, that's what I saw 90% of the time. It was children and the parents trying to cope with it, even though it goes, there's more than that too. But the communication, man, because that's what I needed. And things got in my head, like you were talking, mentioned it earlier. I have to keep moving. I have to keep talking. I can't let stuff sit in my head, because that's what got me on a relapse.
Right.
I wouldn't talk about anything. Things started to build, and whatever excuse I needed to start that drinking, and then it got to the point I was so bad that I didn't care anymore. I said, I'm an alcoholic. I don't care. I'm going to die an alcoholic. You know, but
And
thank
it
goodness that didn't
does.
happen. Yeah,
That that
you know,
stinking
once,
thinking.
yeah, thinking. And as I said, I don't want it, but I should. Yeah, I needed help. I don't want to go get help because I thought I could handle it when I couldn't. So I
Right.
went out and got the help I needed. And stuck. That's another thing too. You know, I know a lot of people from like a lot of Zoom meetings too. People who had, you know, a year or even less than that. They don't want to put up with it. They don't want to stay with the program
Right.
over. And even like my in-person meetings, a couple of guys, new people today, they were talking about, you know, yeah, I had this much time or that much time, and I didn't really want to do it anymore. I thought I could, you know, whatever excuse, and I do call them excuses, you know, because I did the same thing too. I know what that's all about. You know, it's like, you know, yeah, I heard this before. It came right out of my mouth, and yeah, it was pretty nuts. And you know, it's a lifetime. You know, people don't realize. You know, it's a lifetime journey, man.
It's a
You know, I'll do this for
a
2 years.
lifetime commitment. Always said
Yeah.
it's a disease that can't be cured, but it can be maintained for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And
Well, one has to. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to say one has to have the willpower and willingness to do it and realize that, you know, this is a lifetime commitment. This is no joke. You know, I found that out the hard way
Right. Right.
with all the losses and, you know, not just money wise and job wise, but family wise. You know, just pick a topic.
Right.
And, you know, I screwed it up big time.
And
So-
the recovery process is so awesome because you can gain those you know relationships back. You can gain whatever, you know, materialistic things that you've lost along the way, a car, a house, you know, a bicycle, you know, whatever. You can gain all of that back.
Yeah.
A
Once
car,
you,
a house, and a bicycle.
well, I'm just saying, like, it's kids too. Like, you know, a lot of them lose their cars first. So what's their next option when they don't have money? A bike. Like you lose everything. And
I remember I had to ride a bike for a while. Then I got mugged.
yes, you did.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's the messes we create. It's,
Yes.
You know, and it's unbelievable how, you know, one could, you know, think they're not doing anything wrong, and then, you know, in hindsight they go, oh my God, I did this, you know,
Right.
how could I have done this? You know, I create my own mess, and nobody's going to get me out of it.
Exactly.
You know,
Nobody's
can
gonna
let me,
get
you
you
know-
out but you. It's your choices.
yeah, like if I'm in debt financially, somebody might lend me the money, but you know what's going to happen sooner or later? I'm going to fall in debt again, and I'm going to ask the same old person to do me the same old favor, you know, and get in a deeper
Yep.
hole.
Yep.
And that's not just with money; that's with anything with life.
Right. Exactly.
Uh,
Barb, good night. I'm sorry you're gotta go, but I know you get up really early.
Sorry to hear you putting in your notice.
Yes. But just keep doing what you're doing, girl. Keep reaching out. That's the most important thing. Gloria wants to know what helped Larry finally choose sobriety.
was that? It's like one whole big thing at once, different things. You know, my cousin finally, you know, it seemed like a million people told me I needed help, one way or another. You know, whether they were telling me nicely or yelling in my face, but you know, I finally made up my mind that yes, I did need help, and the second time around, I said, you know, I'm going to do whatever everybody else wants, not what I want. You know, I'm going to do it their way because, you know, I've heard that story before. Yeah, I tried it my way and it didn't work. Well, no kidding. You know, my way was...
Right. You hear that an awful lot. that, I was working my program, not the program. And,
Yeah.
a lot of that, until they really grasp it, just like our last speaker that we had on Mike, a lot of people jump out because of the God thing, and he said, if you can't deal with the God thing, then look at it as good, orderly direction, and not,
Yeah.
God as in your higher power. And that really like made sense to me, on how to explain it to somebody that is just so against the whole God thing. But it's a
Yeah.
process, and you know what? I know a lot of people go into this and like, oh, I'm not going to be like that reborn Christian, I'm not going to get all godly and all that stuff. And it's amazing when those people do connect to the spiritual part of it and do the godly thing. I see so much love and so much power in that, but that's them, and they're not
Yeah.
preaching to you. They're just sharing their story and what got them where they needed to be. And there's power in it, and there's power in anything you choose to help you stay on the path of recovery.
Yeah. In fact, today we were talking about, how, that something to that effect too. And when I was chairing today, so find your own way was one of the little stories we had in a Living Sober book, and I explained it to these. I shared to these people like you're at the crossroads, and every highway looks the same, which comes out of a song naturally, and
Get out.
you could try. Yeah, right. And you could go down, try traditional the God thing, but it doesn't mean you have to stay down there. If it's not for you, you come back and pick the next road. If it's agnostic or people who strictly go to meetings, don't want to do step work, don't want to sponsor, or any other whatever works. But the bottom line is, what's going to get you sober, or what's going to get you clean, and what's going to make you happy? How's it going to get your life in order? Everybody has
Exactly.
their own different path, like you were talking about. Some people, it's God for them, and I've been to some of the meetings where they talk. Well, the one I go to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's a traditional meeting. They talk about their God, but they don't over God it. Like I've been
Right.
to some when I was in my recovery house. It's like you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's like, don't tell me what I cannot do.
Right.
That's like a trigger for me. It's like if you say you have to, I guess it was like because I was such a little bit of the rebellious side when I was a kid. It's like, no, I'm not going to do it just because you told me I had to do it.
Right.
But it's a different story in recovery. What I told him too, we said, you'll be standing at this crossroads, but you better make your mind up and make a decision where you're going to go because alcohol is right behind you.
Exactly.
And for me, the alcohol is right behind me. And you pick you pick whatever program works for you, works for me. And I liken it to like, yeah, alcohol's right behind you, stepping, I
Yep.
said, but if the more you work, you'll do 2 steps to every one of alcohols or 3 to every one of alcohols. But the thing is, you got to keep going because alcohol is not stopping. It's never going to stop. And so, it's going to keep on, headed toward your life. It's like a reverse tortoise in a hare, I told him. I said, you can bolt out there, but don't fall asleep because alcohol's that tortoise and he keeps walking. He might be walking slow, but if you stop, he's going to catch up and he's going to get ahead of you and he'll block your path. And, you'll be right back to square one again.
Yep. Yep. And it's true. And Eric mentioned earlier when Gloria put that comment out there about the will. And Eric says, I guess it depends on the person. In my experience, an alcoholic, addict, and money usually part ways pretty damn quick. as a parent of a kid that gets a lump sum of money, I would say grab the oh shit handle and hang on. So, yeah, a lot of that does have to do with the person and where they are in their addiction or where they are in their recovery. But there's, you know, things that you can put in place, I'm sure. Each month or you have to pass a drug test if you're going to get, the annuity from that. And that's just my guess. But these are things that I guess you can place on that person in order to get that money or property or whatever it is that you have to will to that person. Find somebody that is an executor of that money to make sure that they're doing the right things with that money. Leaving it to somebody that is active probably is not a really good idea. But that's just me. Because you know where that can lead you, where that can take you. So, but that was Eric's take on that.
Yeah, with the money with me, like I first started to get sober and I had, some money coming in. I put my daughter on my bank account. She has all my information on my computer. I'd let her, so she could, anytime she wants to check up on me, she's more than welcome to.
Right.
And now that's been, a little over 7 years, she still has, she still could check over me anytime she wants, and I give her permission. I said, look, if you think something's wrong, check it out,
Exactly.
Because I'll be open to her, and, like now, it's not really the problem anymore. My only problem now is having enough money to go to concerts and buy T-shirts.
Right.
And then which is a lot better than trying to save $2 to get a cheap ass beer. Complete with a
Those
complimentary
Menudo
plastic
shirts
bag.
aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
Get the cheapest rock gut malt liquor. Yeah, I know the shirt. I know. I just got my Social Security check and my pension. So I got 3 concerts I already booked, and I'm booking another one. And it's just that's my out. That's my idea. Like you said, get out. You gotta have some kind of life.
Yep.
It's not like AA all the time or read the book all the time. I know people read the book every night. I don't know how they can do it.
Right.
And we have big book meetings. On like Monday we pick a story or pick a topic, and and Wednesday is something else, and Friday something else. I mean, my big book is Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's collecting dust. But I still, read it at my meetings. I don't need to sit down and,
Right.
I mean, the only thing that's got more dust in my house is my vacuum cleaner.
There
So,
you go.
Yeah.
And last Wednesday we had our anniversary meeting for the family group at Living Grin. We've been meeting now for 11 years. Pappy and I ourselves have been meeting there for 8 years of those 11 years. And to see so many people come back, and some are doing well still, and others are still, in that process of their loved one finding their path. The families, however, have found their path. They have made their choices. They have said, you can't live here if you choose the life of, using the substances you choose. And and they're good with it. That doesn't mean that they don't think about their loved one every day, that they don't worry about what they're doing, that they're not panicked every time the phone rings. It just means that they can live their life. They can go in and do the things that they enjoy in life, and not make their loved one a constant worry, and lose themselves in all of this. And that's what happens in the beginning. You lose yourself, because that's your only thought, that's your only, goal in that day is, what are they doing, where are they at, chasing them down, looking for them, looking where they're hiding everything. It's madness. It's absolute madness in the beginning, because you just don't know what to do. And, to hear a parent in a meeting say, if I find them overdosed again, I'm just shutting the door. And people look and they're like, oh my, like jaws drop. If somebody that isn't living this life doesn't understand what they're going through. I'm grateful that I never had to face that reality. But so many people in the meetings, that's their reality, that people deal with PTSD, resuscitating their loved one. It's a beast. This is the disease of addiction. And, having them home, if that's what you can live with, then that's what you live with. You do what you have to do for yourself. But finding that disconnect and still love them and still let them know that you love them is what it's about.
Yeah, well, talk about disconnect and all. I know it's, my wife and kids, they had to put up with me till they finally, we'll just say she asked me to leave. Well, just to make it that way, but, and then, it was like a relief for them now. I'm not home, I'm sure they, wonder where I am and what I'm doing, but I'm not there. They don't have to see it. They don't have to experience, what kind of Larry's coming home tonight.
Right.
And they don't have to worry about that. They can live, especially my kids. Like I said, they were teenagers when, I was asked to leave. And, so they could get on not worrying about me, know my situation.
Right.
They might love me and feel sorry for me, but they have a life too.
Right.
And, that's one gigantic less distraction they had to deal with.
Right. And really, if you look back at the life during your addiction with living within the house of your family, and they finally had to say you need to leave, do you kind of look back and say, okay, they gave me a choice to live here without drinking and drugging and living a nice life, or, if you choose to keep doing that, then you're going to need to leave. And do you think?
Well, yeah, it was the frustration, I promised I was going to be a good boy and all, and
Right.
it just never worked out that way. And, they stood with it, until they couldn't stand it anymore. Then it was
Right.
like, I can't deal with this.
Right.
I can't deal with you. You're going to have to go. They gave me enough chances to try to get help and straighten myself out, but I didn't do it.
Right.
So I paid the consequences, and so did they, in a sense.
Right.
I screwed their lives up too.
Right.
Not just mine.
Right. Because now your wife has to figure out how to pay the bills without your money. She has to figure out how to feed her kids without your money. And she needs to find some support for herself without a spouse. And, we don't look at those things. We look at those things like that's why they stay. That's why they allow this behavior. Because, okay, he's still working, he's still bringing a check in, or she. So, I can put up with it because I know that I don't need to go out and ask for assistance to help me with this process. until it just gets to the point where, you know what? If I have to get assistance, then I get assistance. If I have to ask for help, I have to ask for help. I can't live like this anymore. And so many people just stay in that lifestyle because of the financial responsibility.
Yeah. Well, when you know, I lost my job, but they let me keep my pension. So I gave her the pension. I took none of it. Of course, the kids are still living home. I said, you can have this pension as long as the kids are living home. Then we'll talk about splitting up or doing whatever needed to be done. Then I got Social Security, so, it was okay, but I still needed my pension money. So when, and we were kind of still like on edge with each other. It wasn't a happy ending. So, during a divorce, I took my pension back and had my Social Security, and that was pretty much a wrong thing to do too. I mean, she had savings and all, but her Social Security was like nothing.
Right.
So it got to the point where she couldn't afford like anything. So now I'm giving her so much a month to help pay the bills and do stuff, and we're talking on a communication basis now after how many years, like 9-10 years, something like that. It's so long I can't remember.
Right.
But that's about it. Just education. I mean, communication. Go out to dinner and talk. How's your life going and stuff like that. Instead of keeping like a resentment or a hate, a resentment, toward each other. And I mean, I don't have the resentment because I'm the one who screwed up. But
right.
I still had to make amends. And making amends isn't just saying I'm sorry and let's shake hands,
Right.
So she was really struggling. So I throw some money her way, and
Right. And
she could pay the bills and live in the house now.
yeah, and there you go. There's recovery working in a beautiful way. You may not be husband and wife, but you have a new relationship with her. And
Yeah.
with that new relationship with her, it also brings your kids closer together. You can still be a family even though you're not husband and wife, that you're not living together. And that's beautiful to see. That's beautiful for your children to see.
Yeah, they like it too, especially my daughter. She was kind of like, wondering what was going to happen, if it was going to be like a hate relationship and all. And, as I got more educated with my son, I said, I don't want that kind of relationship. And, even though we're not married anymore, I still want to, have like an open relationship, have, everything be kind of nice, kind of civil. I guess
Right.
that's the thing I'm looking for, civil. Go out to dinner once in a while, have a few laughs, and just talk.
Yeah. And that's nice that you can go back to that. That's nice that you can connect like that, and be friends and be able to go to a family function together and not have the tension, not have the kids not have to decide, okay, well, we'll invite her this time and then him next time. What a beautiful thing to be able to do, and to celebrate things together.
Yeah, well, they still do that, but because it was kind of like if I was invited to something, she wouldn't go, and they kind of picked up on that, so they invited her to come over to the house, or whatever the situation or event was. They wouldn't invite me, and I would understand that.
Right.
Because they didn't know what was going to happen, if anything was going to happen.
Boy,
And if I go, she wouldn't. So
I see that at weddings. I do, where like the parents are divorced and remarried or whatever, and the mother and fathers are there with their new spouses and all. Oh man, you can cut the tension with a knife in the room sometimes. It's like, oh God. I mean, I'm like reading the room, looking at everybody's body language. I'm like, it's pretty
yeah,
creepy.
you could pick it up. Yeah. Well, you've been there, done that so many times. You can probably see it before it even happens.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I get my list, you know, it says, yeah, you say the father of the bride and mother, and like they're with other people. I go, okay, man, I'm gonna get these names mixed up,
Right.
and like
Yeah.
it gets,
Yeah,
it
it's
gets,
insanity,
it gets
isn't
a
it?
little hairy canary sometimes, yeah. And like
Yeah.
everybody giving each other the
And
hairy
sitting at sep-
eyeball.
and sitting at separate tables when my daughter and my son got married, had the reception. We were at different tables.
Right.
It was really bizarre because I said I'll sit with her. But they said I don't know. I don't think my
She
wife
don't want to
is too
sit
keen
with
on
you,
that.
Dad.
We don't want
Yeah.
my mom plunging a knife in the bag while we're
Yeah.
in the middle of the dance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I know the one my daughter's wedding. She didn't really want to sit with me, so she sat with her family, her sisters, and brothers-in-law and whatever. And I sat with my brothers and a couple of my cousins and their spouses. So it was strange, though. What we talked there, They
Right.
even convinced her to dance a couple times.
No, that's
Boy,
good.
yeah, it was
And,
like,
and it's things we get back. It's
Like a
things-
grade school
Yeah.
dance.
oh my God, yeah. It was like the grade school dance, yeah. We're like 8 feet away from each other on a
Kind
slow
of
song.
awkwardness.
Yeah. Oh boy, it was awkward too.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it is. But now,
Did you use that old line? The only thing separating us, dear, is a thin layer of gabardine. I forget what movie that's from.
probably
God.
I just heard it the other day come up again.
American Pie,
A
probably.
thin layer of gabardine.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But it is.
Yeah,
It's
but
nice that you can get those relationships back. Whether it's an ex or, family members, cousins that, would spit on you if you walk by, now are accepting of you. When there's functions or you meet up in public somewhere, to gain that back, to then look at you like, wow, you really did it. You're doing a great job.
Yeah. I mean, they see it. They see the before and after photos, and they know the change. They notice the change. They can see the change, and they're happy for me, and I'm kind of happy for myself too. And it's even more, makes it better. Is like these people now, they like me again. They love me again. They respect me again, and because I had to earn their respect and their
Right.
love to get it back.
Exactly.
So-
Things I must earn. Time.
Yeah, you got it. Things I must earn.
Yeah.
I mean, even got to the point where my brothers, they got fed up with me too. And then, like I said, I talked about my one cousin. He was the last one. He was the one that, lit that spark in me, lit that flame to get me, to go to do the path, go to rehab,
Right.
recovery house, and go to the path I'm on now.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
he
how
was like
many
the last
times did
one.
he tell you that before that clicked?
Oh my God! Endless times. Everybody. Just put a one and like 10,000 zeros after it because
Right.
so many people, like I said, they try to reason with me, in a nice way, and talking civil or screaming at me, and like whatever method they tried just didn't work. I would just lie to their face. Hey, I knew I needed help. I knew I was an alcoholic, but I just wouldn't do anything
Right.
about it. I wouldn't listen. You're absolutely right. I do need help, and I should do this, and I should do that. And then, when I'm out of their sight, all I did was drink.
And it's weird because like when I do talk to people that are in recovery and that are doing well, how they just say, some people say they just had this overwhelming feeling of just like comfort, and they just followed the feeling into recovery, or just something took over them and when. It's like the divine intervention. Like,
Yeah.
there it is.
And that quote was from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
It was a Kramer quote.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I don't know what it was, this, oh, it was God talking to your cousin and okay, if that's what you think, but I don't know what it was and I don't care what it was. I don't dissect it. All I know is it changed and I decided to go on that path of recovery.
right.
I don't credit or discredit anything, any one entity or, whatever it came into my life to have me say, okay, this is it. I need help. I'm going to go get help. And that's what I did.
Yeah. I was
Started on that path.
yeah. I was with somebody last night, and they were just really struggling with a lot of stress going on in their life. They're just having a really difficult time, and they went out for a drive, and they were pumping gas, and a guy walks up and said, I see that you're struggling. Remember that you're beautiful and you're loved, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, and she was like, he didn't ask for money, food, nothing. He just got in his car and drove away. And I said, that's like a divine intervention. Like they could see you were struggling. Something brought them toward that person to show that she was in a bad place and she was worth more than what she was thinking about herself. And I think that was amazing. We don't look for these signs that are in our place all the time. And it may be through a song, it may be through a scent, like a perfume or a flower, or the kitchen. I know Pappy's going to be sending me signs all the time when he passes, but it's going to be coming from the bathroom.
Smells like farmland.
So I'm going to go get that. What is it?
Horses?
That potpourri or whatever the hell it is. But that's
You get a seance on the Golden Corral.
yeah.
When the chair starts moving, it's him.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. Like we don't really think about the signs that are all around us, that may put us in a place of comfort. It's just really weird how that all comes together. And I'm sure Larry had this big shining light that put him into that, what? There's that light bulb going off. Okay, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go get help.
Yeah, big shining light with a guy driving with a badge.
Yeah. And if you look close enough, it's at 60 watts. But that, and you know what? It doesn't matter what it is that got you there. As long as it got you there. That's the whole, path. It could be jail that takes you into recovery. It could be prison that takes you into recovery. And if that's what it is and it kept you alive until you could go out and rebuild your life, then that's what it does. If it's, walking into a church and finding peace and finding that love that you so needed, then so be it. Let that be your recovery. Whatever it is that gets you there, just go with it. And, find the time, find the connection that you need to get where you need to be.
Yeah. Well, 2 nights in jail was enough to get me spiritually motivated. In there, man, Oh, my God. One at the Roundhouse and one night up on State Road. That's all I needed. My God, They give you orange suits, so I hope they would give me, some Depends, because I was crapping my pants in there in 2 days.
Did you find any boyfriends?
Oh, no. I wasn't looking either. Yeah.
The thin layer of
Avoid eye
gabapentin
contact.
separating
Yeah. Yeah.
Christine says there's only one thing that makes someone change, and that's their own realization that they need to do it. And that is the truth.
Yep.
You know, you have to be ready for that change. When you realize that, you know, you keep doing the same things with the same results and they're not good results, you need to make that change. And I always say nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah. And you have to stick with it. That's the biggest thing. You're not, you know, took how many years for me to become a full-fledged alcoholic, drunk, disgusting person. And in a year, 2 or 3, it's not going to change much. I mean, you stick with it. Yeah, sure, you're not drunk, and maybe that urge to drink starts to fade, but you still have to keep working at it and working at it and working at it.
You have
Yeah.
to put more time in it than it took you to get you where you are. Because
Yeah.
if you just get lazy with it, you're gonna, you know, open yourself up for failure.
It was funny. I was talking earlier about like how much money you used to lay out on booze and all that. I spent it on shirts and stuff. I was talking to a guy at work today, and he's about the same age as me. And he goes, "Yeah, I told my wife we got to stop going out for all the pizzas and steaks on Friday nights. We're just spending too much money and going out." Because the other week we went out, I spent like $118. She had 2 buckets of Twisted Teas, and I had 3 buckets of Coors Lights. And there's 5 in a bucket. I'm doing the math in my head. She had 10 Twisted Teas. You had 15 Coors Lights. Like, holy shit. He's the same age as me. I mean, wow.
They're little bottles, but they aren't cheap anymore.
No.
No,
Yeah.
not.
So am I, but I just think in my head.
We
Like,
used to have 6 in a bucket. Now that's 5.
Yeah,
yeah, he said 5.
it's five in a bucket.
But
God.
it's why 10 Twisted Tea. Why did that? Oh, red.
Because it tastes good. It goes down nice and sweet.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
I don't know how you get up in the morning.
And it's only like what, 5% alcohol too. So you know, you
Yeah, I
don't
know.
sip up and wait for the effects. You know, it's like, well, this is good. Have another. This is good. Have another. This is good.
Right.
Have another. And that's what got
And
me
he-
hooked on drinking.
And he said, I told him, I have a big bar at home. He goes, I can sit home and drink for free. I'm like, I'm not drinking for free. And he goes, yeah, I go home. I buy 2 cases of Coors Light. It's like $50. I'm like, 2 each week?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I'm out of practice. I mean, back in my
Yeah, it's
heyday,
amazing.
I didn't drink that much.
Right. I was with out last night with somebody, and we were just sitting around talking, and there's this guy there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've got 4 DUI. It's Living Green came up, and he goes, I've been there a couple times."
This guy's had
Yeah.
one years ago that I'm talking
Well,
about.
congratulations. Yeah, we're so happy for you. Been there for a few times.
4
You
times,
know?
and as he's sitting there drinking beer, and I'm just like, when will you get it? Like, when will
Yeah.
you get
Hey.
you have 4 DUIs? Come on, dude. Seriously. I don't have a
That's
drinking
not happening.
problem. They just catch me,
I had
you
a
know.
driving problem.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, so
Yeah.
I just kind of stick around here and I can walk. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah, rationalization. Isn't it wonderful?
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, and one day
And they're
he'll
done
get it.
that.
I mean, my uncle was the same way. Like, my uncle drank, and you know, the accidents and the police saying, I mean, and back then it was like, okay, you have to go take some DUI classes. Like, okay, leave there, take a drink, leave there, take a drink. At least now they're
Yeah.
putting the breathalyzers in the car. Like, there's consequences for it today. And
Yeah.
you know, it was you know, a police action that, you know, made him finally see the light. Like, he had to buy a street light because he took the pole down. And I'm talking about like the red lights. And And it wasn't cheap.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like such a major infraction. We're like, when I was younger, one I see was like driving under the influence or something. But it was like, it wasn't even called that. It was before DUI. It was just like, but my argument's always been, why do you have a big parking lot at the bar? Like, how are people getting to the bar by car? Now, to legally to drink and be able to absorb them at a point, it's like one beer per hour. Now, I was in
Yeah.
the club business for quite a few years. I worked in the nightclubs. We owned several bars. The people I worked for. If you were drinking 1 beer an hour, I was going to tell you get out of that stool and go stand up, because this isn't a bus
Yeah.
stop. You could no bar can keep their doors open with people drinking at that rate. It's like such a catch-22. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, now you got Uber,
I like
all,
it.
so that's better.
Yeah. I like the excuse. Well, I had something to eat with it, or I'm a big guy. I can, it takes more alcohol for me to get in time. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah. Yeah. Don't give me that excuse.
It's
Yeah.
got a lot of fat to get through.
Yeah. Like, I don't care if you're 4'2" or 6'2".
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to get wasted.
Yep. It's
It's,
crazy.
it's like it's excuses. This is like not facing the truth.
It's crazy. It is. It's crazy how we interpret things.
Yeah, I did it too.
Yeah.
I'm no angel, believe me.
No, none of us are. It's just they have, phones with cameras now.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Okay.
I don't even want to think
Yeah.
about that in my heyday.
And I
Oh,
was
God,
a
me
good
too.
kid. I was a good kid. I'm glad they didn't have cameras there.
Or see the cell phones. Can you imagine if you could have called your friends back in the day, Larry, when you were young, and like, like always know where everybody was all the time. We
Yeah.
used to have to walk from shopping center to shopping center, bro. Try to find people, like.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
have been in 10 times more trouble if people like, hey, where you guys at? I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stumble over and meet you. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a meme today on Facebook. It says, "Mom, what was it like when you were growing up?"
We walk like 10 miles a day just trying to see what we could get into.
Yeah.
We go walk like 2 miles, 3 miles to the shopping center to go get a soda, walk 3 miles back home.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the meme said, "What was it like when you were growing up?" And she took away the phone, the iPad, turned off the Wi-Fi, and told them to go outside and don't come back till the street lights came on. And that's
Yeah.
the
Stay out of
truth.
trouble.
Yeah,
Always
stay
got
out of
that.
trouble. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can. There's no phones showing it.
Yeah.
But
Look at me doing something stupid.
Yeah, but it's crazy how fast times are changing, and the social media is just really killing us. It really is. It's
Everybody's changed. You can't even tell some kid, hey, I'm going to tell your mother. Well, first of all, they'll probably firebomb your house. And second of all, the mother,
Yeah.
who are you to tell my kid what to do anyway?
Yep.
It's changed so much.
Yep, it is. It's really crazy. Well, we have 5 minutes left, guys. If there's anything that you guys want to ask, need to hear, let me know. Eric, love you. Glad you popped in. Have a great night. Hope you're feeling well. And
Yeah, buddy, take care of yourself out there.
yes, stay out of
Grandpa.
trouble. Oh, that's right. You don't get in trouble anymore.
I don't. I'm not.
I'm
allowed
going to
to-
go. I'm going to hang up. Maybe you get a last minute call. Maybe somebody has an editorial or disclaimer. So,
If not, we'll see you next Wednesday. Just coming next
yeah,
Wednesday.
you sure will.
Yeah,
Okay. Have a good night, people.
All right, Larry,
You
thank
too,
you so
honey.
much for calling.
Take care.
All right. Bye bye.
That was our Larry. So, check out my page, and I'll keep you updated on what's going on. I don't know. I just feel. Don't you feel? Like tonight should be the farewell. It's hard because then something will come up and
I don't know what I feel. I mean, we got to work on getting new material, some more guests to keep it real,
Yeah.
to keep it engaging and exciting.
yeah,
Instead of just sitting here. I mean, I don't know how long you been doing this. You've been doing this a
2
while.
years. 2 years.
Well, shiz.
November will be 2 years. I think it was October,
It was longer
November.
than that.
No, October, November will be 3 years. But yeah, I just don't. I haven't been getting phone calls, so I guess everybody's doing well out there.
We cured them all.
All of them. But I'm always here. I'm always a phone call away. The phone number will still be there. But check out my page, Living Hopeful,
Yeah.
on Facebook. That's where you're gonna find
Feel
like
free to call. We still have all our contacts. We know a lot of people in the recovery world. Mm-hmm. We can always try and point you in the right direction or find someone who can.
yes,
Always remember, we always keep our networking and our connections with people. We're in good graces with most, if not all. I mean, we don't really know, we're not in bad graces with anybody in the recovery world.
no,
The
and,
neighborhood's another thing.
but I'm just
I'm building
gonna.
a plane behind me here in the yard.
Yeah, no, the plane's gone. I guess it flew
Flew
away.
Story for another night. It's too
So,
funny on such short notice to tell the story.
so I'll keep you posted on the Facebook page, Living Hopeful, or Living Hopeful Lower Bucks County, whichever one that you follow. We are here. I'm gonna try and find something to redo what we're doing.
I'm trying a different course, another book, maybe we can work
Different
through.
approach, whatever. And if you're missing us, just let me know. And maybe it's a different night, maybe it's a different time. I don't know. It's just he's starting to work at 7:00 in the morning now, and me trying to stay awake is a battle. But we will see you when we see you.
We'll give you a heads up if we're going to pull the plug. We're not just going to do it.
Right.
We'll give you some warning. We'll come up with something, I'm sure.
All right, guys. Until we chat again.
Hey, we're like almost there. But remember, as always, recovery works if you work it.
Peace out, everybody.
We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Be safe.